The Allies had landed at Salerno on the Italian mainland, but the bridgehead was in trouble, so the 82nd went in. The Germans, some of Hitler's best troops, fought savagely with everything they had. It wasn't enough. They were beaten back. On October 1st, 1943, Naples was liberated. Men of the 82nd led the way in, but they had little time for the victory celebration, as elements of the division fought at the Anzio beachhead. They pursued the Germans into the Apennine Mountains. They had to fight mud and exhaustion as well as rocky heights. Spearheading the Fifth Army's advance, they finally joined the British 8th Army at Mount Sammucro. Then the 82nd was relieved and sent to England. This was their first real breathing spell since Sicily. No one really believed it would last for long, but it was nice while it lasted. Replacements began pouring in, and intensive training was resumed. The biggest jump of all was coming up, into France, to smash the walls of Hitler's Fortress Europe. Once again, they were going in ahead of the ground forces. The 82nd Airborne, the new 101st American Airborne, and the British 6th Airborne. The German army was taken by surprise, but not completely. The Germans scattered paratroopers all over Normandy. Fighting became a confused melee of small unit action. The troopers struck out hard and captured Sainte-Mère-Église, a key point in the Nazi defenses and the first town to be liberated in France. It was a slow process. They had to bleed for every town, field, and hit. The 82nd fought for 33 days without relief or reinforcements. The enemy wished they hadn't. Of the 13,000 men who jumped into Normandy, only 5,000 were still on their feet when the 82nd was sent back to England to rest and rebuild the outfit. Almost as bad an ordeal was the Battle of the Bulge, when Hitler's Panzer divisions cracked the Allied line in Belgium. The 82nd was called on to hold the northern shoulder of the Bulge. Not only were they outgunned and outnumbered, they were freezing. Like their fellow paratroopers of the 101st at Bastogne, the men of the 82nd threw back one desperate attack after another. Finally, the Nazi drive was played out. Airborne soldiers stayed on the ground now to race across Germany, scooping up a fantastic number of prisoners, including the entire 21st German Army, 145,000 men. It was an inglorious end to Hitler's dream of a 1,000-year Reich. And a triumphant war's end for the 82nd, which was chosen by General Eisenhower to act as American honor guard in Berlin. But best of all was the victory parade down New York's Fifth Avenue, led by General Gavin in January of 1946. And the All-American Division came home to be welcomed by an All-American audience.